Hi and welcome to Jazzmacke, inspiring people to improvise. Today I'm reviewing the albums of my favorite act, Keith Jarrett Trio, and it's the ECM albums. They are all quite good actually, but there are some things that differs them, and I like them in different ways. Some of them I like better, and I'll let you know about that. So Keith Jarrett Trio was formed on the initiative of Manfred Eicher, who thought that could be a good act to play standards, and they have played together on one of Gary Peacock's album, who is the bassist. Then we of course have Keith Jarrett as the pianist and Jack DeJohnette as the drum player, and all of them played on Gary's album. That was the first time they played together, as far as I know, on an album. And Gary, he was used to playing free jazz, so he thought of playing Changeless with Keith Jarrett. How would that be? But he would be surprised and actually liked it a lot, because it would come to a position where they actually were also playing free jazz in this setting. So let's get into it. So number 21, we have Standards Volume 1, and this is the first album they recorded as a Keith Jarrett Trio. They had a couple of days in New York to record actually 3 of these albums. And the reason for this position is the interplay and the production. The piano is panned quite hard to the right, and Keith's groaning is very hearable. And it's only standards, no free jazz here. And one unique thing with this album is that God Bless the Child is more in style of they're playing in the European quartet. On place 20 we have Standards Live. This is the first live album. There are some good moments here, but the production pulls down the score. Apart from the piano pan to the right, there's too much reverb. Keith's groaning on Stella by Starlight is also very intense. Number 19, we have Standards in Norway. On this album, the production is better, although a little low in volume. This is the major difference to the lower rated albums. Now, this album has some songs with some shaky starts. Number 18, we have Changeless. Seems to be free jazz, although it's quite accessible. So Keith might have prepared some ideas in beforehand to work from. What differs this album from the previous positions is higher portion of songs that I like. This album is, although quite static and not so dynamic in volume. So on 17 we have Tribute. I think it's a good balance of faster and slower standards, and also a free improvisation part. That is the major difference compared to the previous albums. This album features the first appearance of Jack's cymbal effect in the end of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. So on place 16 we have the Bye Blackbird album. This is a tribute album and also studio album to tribute to Miles Davis, who passed away in 1991. There are good performances here, but I like the presence of the audience during the live recordings. This album has my favorite Butch and Butch, where the changes almost dissolves into a free jazz flow. On position 15 we have Somewhere. This is their last recording with ECM. After the Fall was recorded earlier but released later. This is a concert from Switzerland in 2009. Everything is okay here, but I only hearted 1 out of 8 songs. On position 14 we have After the Fall. This was the first trio recording after Keith's diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. So the fall is not fall as in the autumn, it's probably the fall of Keith's health. It's nicely balanced, but maybe not too low either in volume, and the piano is nicely panned. The rest is okay, although I only hearted 1 out of 12 songs. Number 13 we have Standards Volume 2. This album has a ballad focus. What pushes this album up from the first New York session album is that I hearted 6 out of 12 songs. So on position number 12 we have Changeless. It only has 3 songs. It feels like free jazz, but some of it might be composed. Prism was recorded with the European Quartet in the late 70s. It's nice solos on this album. On position 11 we have Yesterdays. Overall, good performances and production. Keith's runs are not as precise as they can be. Check, for example, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes on this album. Okay, so now we are in for the top 10. And on position 10 we have My Foolish Heart. This album features good interplay and solos. The production is not that great. Some high notes cut through. And it has several songs with a stomping feel that I don't really like. Number 9 we have Up For It. It's good interplay and production. The sound is less use of reverb than other live albums, and that makes their presence feel closer, and I like that. On position 8 we have the Out of Towners. It's overall good with especially nice solos. And Keith block chord playing on I Can't Believe That You Are In Love With Me is so great. On position 7 we have Always Let Me Go. The interplay and production is especially good here. It has a free jazz focus. On position 6 we have Tokyo 96. Song balance, solos, hearted song ratio is pretty good here. I'll Remember April starts and ends with drums, which is a unique song. Okay, so now we're up to top 5. And here we have on position 5 Keith Jarrett at the Blue Note. So this is a collection of the recordings from 3 concerts they had at the Blue Note in 1994. So there are lots of tunes here. It's 38 songs actually, and some variations as well. What stands out here is the interplay and the solos, as well as song choices. So on place number 4 we have The Cure. This is an overall nice album, and I have hearted 5 out of 8 songs. So now we are into top 3, and on position 3 we have Inside Out. This is mainly free jazz album with nice solos. The production is also good, and 3 out of 5 songs were hearted, so it gets a nice ratio. 341 or 341 free fade starts with an expressive bass solo, and that is kind of unique for these albums. So position 2 we have Still Live. This album has really nice solos and 5 out of 8 songs being hearted. The extension of You and the Night and the Music is epic. So now we are up to the last position, the highest position, which is number 1. And here we have Whisper Not, which is my old favorite album. This was also the first album I listened to. It might have a nostalgia effect. This is a recording of a concert in France from 1999, and this album has extraordinary fast and great solo achievements by Keith. There's actually no free jazz moments here or compositions by Keith, but otherwise it's a good mix of fast and slow songs. And the flow of Keith's solo on Growing High, Conception, as well as the climax of Sandy are amazing. The intro to What Is This Thing Called Love shows off Keith's masterful hand independence and has so much swing. Gary's solo on What Is This Thing Called Love is so nicely out. Keith plays so gently yet dynamically on Prelude to a Kiss, and its interplay is really good. Hallucinations has such an unbelievable drive, and the volume of the production is higher than on the others, which I like. So this was my ranking of the Keith Jarrett Trio ECM albums, and some ending words. So I used a score here in the categories interplay, solos, production, Spotify hearts, and song choice, and that was from 1 to 5 for all of these categories. And I listen in headphones on the Spotify versions. Some albums I have listened to more times, and that might affect me, and I might end up with a new list if I listen to the albums once again. So please let me know what you think, and if you like me to rank some other artists' album. Bye bye.